Hello, this is Daryl at Good Attitude Services, 10-foot truck, and I'm just sitting in my living room. I was just thinking about last week. Um, I've done about five jobs, or I have one tomorrow. That's right, so it'll be five jobs this week, and they're all relatively small, except for the one I did yesterday, which was a full garage removal. Not full garage; it was partial garage. So it filled the truck up. And my truck, like I said, is before is it's a small 10-foot box truck, so it's just a little bit bigger than like a cargo van, taller, so it fits probably three or four, maybe four pickup truck loads can be put into that truck. I think you can put at least a ton in there, not more. I think it's when I go to the scale. Um, Usually when I have the gross and the tare weight. Usually the tare weight, which is when you go into it weighed, it's about 6,200, roughly around 6,200 pounds. That's the truck itself, and which is not like a real big heavy box truck. It's pretty medium or small size, and it says on the side of the van that it can. When I bought it from U-Haul. It says it can hold. It's 80. I think 8,700, around 8,700 gross. So really, it's around a ton. You're like a little bit over a ton, not much, but pretty much you can put about 2,000 pounds in the back, and that's the leaf springs and the or whatever the suspension is made for that kind of weight. You can feel it when you're driving. It's a pretty heavy duty truck frame. And it has a tow package where you could tow, according to what I've read, you can tow 6,000 pounds trailer. I mean, 6,000 pounds on the back. The transmission will handle 6,000 pounds of weight. And the most I've done is I've filled the truck up completely, and then I had a tow dolly for a car, or it was an SUV, and I towed the other SUV behind it. So I think the SUV is around 4,000 pounds, somewhere around there, so 2 tons. And then the box truck was probably close to a ton, or maybe a little bit under a ton. So you can technically you can probably tow about 6,000 pounds with a combination. But I don't know. I normally don't tow. I've only had to tow my car one time over the hill to come over when I moved, but I don't do that commercially. I don't tow people's cars, and I don't really tow trailers unless I was going to tow a dump trailer where I needed an extra trailer. I could rent one if I had to fill the truck, and then instead of going back and forth to the truck, I would possibly rent a dump trailer and pull that. But normally I don't want to do that. So the most I'm going to put in the back of my truck for a dump run is a ton. And so far, I haven't come across anything. I'm looking at my receipts from the scales and the dump, and it seems to me like, because I've been to the dump at least 3 times this week. Because what I'll do is I'll combine some of the loads. I'll go pick up, like, say, I had a job where I picked up 2 mattresses, 2 box springs. Of course, I'm not going to take that to the dump because we have a minimum at our dump or at transfer station. We have a minimum charge of $16.84, I believe, somewhere around there, and that's usually a little bit over. I think it's about 300 and under. You're going to pay that minimum fee. I think I had one. I don't have that receipt with me, but there was a receipt I had where I went and I dumped, because what I did was I'll combine, since mattresses are fairly light. I want to get at least up to that 300 pounds, just to pay the minimum charge, but have that more stuff in there. Like if I had 2 mattresses, 2 box springs on a pickup, I'm just gonna combine that with maybe another dump run or another pickup, and then combine those, and then it makes more sense and it's more efficient, and I'll pay less than having to go twice. Because if I had to pay the minimum on that and then go back and do another one and then pay the minimum again, it's going to be like over $30, $35. Where what I did is I took the mattresses and the box springs. The next day I put those aside. The next day I went and picked up a dishwasher, I think a stove, and like a bunch of cardboard. And so I just combined that load, and even combining that load, I only ended up paying, I think it was like 400 pounds with that combined load. So it was like 2 mattresses, 2 box springs, the stove, the stove, dishwasher, I think it was a microwave, and a big box of cardboard, fairly heavy, large cardboard boxes. Um, all that only equaled about, and it wasn't a full truckload, it was only probably half, and that equaled about 400 pounds. And I think I paid $23 or something. So, and then, so it made more sense to pay the $22 for all that combined and just pay the $36 if I went separate, or, emptied the first load and then went back and then emptied the second load. So I like to combine those. And then the next one I did, I picked up, I ended up picking up a sofa that night, which is one of those huge sleeper sofas. I don't know how much they weigh, but when I picked it up, it's really heavy. I would think almost like 200 pounds. I think that's what they are, because they have all that mechanism and frame and all that stuff. And it was a big couch. So I picked that up. I left it in the truck because I knew I was going the next day to pick up, not a stove. What was I picking up? I'm losing train of thought. But I was going to another, oh no, that's a full pickup. That's right. No, that's right. I combined that. Sorry. I did combine that with those other items. So I did combine that with the stove and the dishwasher and the microwave and that. And so that was a combination. So, and that I think equaled 400. Now, as far as the mattress, the mattresses and the box springs, I combined that with another stove pickup. So that was the stove and the mattresses that were, I think that was even a little bit less. That was like the minimum charge. So it seems like the last 3 times I've been to the transfer station, it's only been about $23. And the most I spent was $27.96. That was yesterday, and that was when I had a full truckload of garbage bags and a bunch of boxes and random trash. But it pretty much filled up the majority of the truck. It wasn't all the way to the top. At the end, it kind of slowed down, but it was pretty much most of the truck. But it was just normal garbage, like household garbage, and then a bunch of cardboard. So that the weight on that equaled, it was 600 pounds. Yeah, I think it was 600. I can't read this thing here. Yeah, 500 pounds. So 500 pounds, that was $27.96, and that was like a full truck of trash. So I haven't yet got anything that much where it's going to be 1,000 pounds. I haven't got a lot of heavy stuff. So I'm waiting to see if I'm ever going to get, because I haven't been doing junk removal. For the most part, I've been doing deliveries and pickups. Now it's interesting, I'm getting a lot of these junk removals just lately, especially this last week. And I got one coming tomorrow, which is going to be a mattress removal. And I'll probably have to combine that. Or sometimes those I can donate. There's a place I could donate if the mattress is good. So that'll work. But this whole week has been all removals. And I did one delivery, a sofa delivery, but the sofa delivery also was a removal because I was removing the old sofa and delivering the new one. So I'm noticing my ad doesn't specifically I don't market myself specifically as a junk removalist. I market myself just as hauling and using a truck, hiring for a truck, hauling for deliveries, things that don't fit in your car, construction delivery, furniture delivery. And that's what I normally have been doing for most of the time I've had the truck in the last 7 years. In other regions, not in this region, but in my old area, I would mainly do furniture stores. And that was my bread and butter, was furniture stores delivering their items. Consignment stores, furniture stores, chair stores, places like Home Goods type of thing, Fred Meyer, Costco, a lot of those, that type of stuff. That's what I was just basically doing. And I'm starting to realize that how lucrative the junk removal is. That's why I don't necessarily market it. I just kind of put it in my ad, and on the side of my truck it says pick up, delivery, and removal. So it's a part of it, but it's not a full junk removal business. And the reason I keep it that way is because I still have that, all the tools and the capability of, I've been, as a mover, to me, to move furniture and to deliver furniture is something I could do really efficient, and and I do it where I don't damage things. I have all the proper tools to do that, with dollies and the moving pads and all that stuff. So, and I've been doing that for so long that it's just easy for me to do that. But it's, the thing is, a lot of that's, people want that hourly charge, and they want that hourly. How much are you going to charge per hour when you're doing that? Or it's like, or one item, you're not going to get as much. It's going to take more time to make the money that you do with the removal, because with the removal you can charge per truckload or half truckload or quarter truckload, and and it works out great. Like I said, I think I charge probably cheaper than most removal companies around here, junk removal companies, because to me, it's, I'm close to the dump, and it's like, to me, I'm still making money, and I'm not going that low, but I'm going lower than I think anyone else. I think a lot of these guys are charging $500 a load, and I'm not exactly sure how big their trucks are, but I've seen some of these dump trailers, or I mean, not dump trailers, but the not box trucks, but small little, like 1-800 junk dump trucks. I think I could fit pretty much the same, pretty close to what they fit in those, and I think they charge. Not all of them. I saw one. I think it charged probably $450, where for me I'm charging $300. I was gonna do $350, but the last three jobs I've done that had full truckloads, I charged $300, and I made good money. I mean, and it doesn't. The thing about it, like, most of the time it's going to a storage unit, and you just pull up, and the door's right there, and I can do it by myself. And I have that done. I have that thing loaded in 15 minutes. I'm not that far, pretty centrally located. I just go right to the dump, or I sort it out. I do a lot of sorting to make sure I can get cardboard and stuff like that, things that I don't have to dump, metal and all that stuff. But it's easy to get around, and so it doesn't take a lot of time, as opposed to like a delivery of a couch. You got to load it up the stairs. You got all that stuff. It takes much more effort and time than some of these junk jobs I've been doing. Like the other one I did, you just pull up to the garage, you just unload it. It takes about 15 minutes, and then you sort out the cardboard and all that, so you can recycle some of that. And I live so close to the dump that it's just down the street, drive there, and usually I've never had any problems waiting in line there. I guess there's probably a transfer station around that maybe is more popular, but the one I live near is not that. It's never busy. I go in there anytime, weekday, weekend. I haven't had any problems there. I just pull up, and I'm in there 10-15 minutes, get weighed, drive out. It just takes me 2 minutes to get home, and the day is done, and that job is done, and I got my $300 minus the dump fee, which, like I said, it could be only like $27 or $30. This was $27, and then not much gas because it's pretty close. So after those costs, it's still really good money for the time that you spend. So I really like those jobs, because just to do one job, it takes a couple hours of your time, sometimes less, depending on how much you have to sort. I just add the sorting time and all that in, and kind of give it a little bigger time. I usually stretch the time out a little bit more, and just look at that and go, well, it's going to be like 2 hours, and I'm making $300, which really probably only took an hour and a half, but I just say 2 hours. So even at 2 hours, even if it was 3 hours minus the expenses, I mean, you're making close to $100 per hour. And that's the thing with the deliveries. I was doing like 50 and 80 per item. I moved it up to 80 per item, but even I try to get business, and I'll just, if it's something that's really close, I've done a couch delivery where it's just down the street at the warehouse, and then to the guy's apartment, which is just across the street. It takes 20 minutes, and I'll charge him $50, and to me it's like, that's an easy $50. But it takes more physical effort when you're dealing with a big couch and that kind of thing. or like when I do appliance delivery. That's they're very heavy. I have the appliance dolly. It's more effort. It's a lot more physical effort, and and I like that. I enjoy doing that, but I'm starting to realize that the junk jobs are the ones that pay the most, at least from my experience. But to have those opportunities of doing both, if there's not a lot of junk jobs going on, you can do the deliveries because and you can kind of bounce back between those type of jobs. Uh, because I don't want to just have one. I just don't want to advertise just one service. I'd like to have several services, so that when things slows down, you can kind of bounce back between those. So, but yeah, that's my experience. That's what I've seen. I haven't been doing the junk thing for very long, but I'm starting to see that wow, it doesn't take a lot of time, and it may not be like that in every case. It just happens to be my experiences with pulling up to a garage and a storage unit, and the ones I've done, mostly storage units and just garages. Those are fast. They're not too heavy. The items aren't that heavy, and you end up paying a pretty minimal fee to dump that stuff, and so the money you're making off of that is really good. I mean, it is. It's really good. I know I see other guys that are making way more than that, but of course they got the dump truck. They're marketing specifically for junk removal, and so they're getting a consistent base, and they're getting contracts. And I don't have those contracts. I don't have apartment contracts. The last contracts or pseudo contracts I had was with the consignment stores and furniture stores, and I would make decent because they were always calling me. I was consistently being called every week, at least 5 times a week, and the jobs usually were ranging around 125, something around there, 80 to 125 per delivery. So I was kind of a low price delivery, but to me it was worth it. But then you get these, like I said, junk jobs, which it's not like 125, it's like 300, and it's less time. At least in my experience, it's been less time for more money. So I think I'm going to continue to do those type of jobs and explore that kind of work. I've seen other people on videos that have these big contracts or these big jobs that are paying like 20 grand. In fact, I know a guy who did that, and those are rare to get, but they're available. I've had calls on like from people who wanted their entire house emptied out, and I was just about to do the job, and the guy was able to get someone to come in and do it for free. They wanted, because all the stuff was good, so he wanted it all. So I wasn't able to capture that one. So far, in my experience that I've had so far, the $300 truckloads, those are the ones that I've had the most pays I've gotten on that, because I haven't got any big jobs. It's just those are what I consider small. And oh no, wait, sorry, I did have one. This was when I was living in another area, not here, and I was doing deliveries for a mattress store, and I ended up getting a call from one of their contractors to supply all the mattresses for a hotel, and I helped him do that and got paid per hour to do that. And then the guy wanted me to remove all the old ones because they had to replace all of them, hundreds of them, and I was able to get that, but I had to rent a 26-foot Penske with a lift gate, and in order to do that, because my truck, there's no way it would fit that many mattresses. So I did get that. Was a big one, and that was a good payout. But other than that, I haven't had anything. I've had other people call me on stuff like that, but I never really thought about it. Like, I've had people call me over, can you empty all this whole, like a gym, like with all the weights. Of course, I would have to rent a truck in that case, because my truck's small. But I didn't know what to do at the time. I was like, I really can't handle all that. I mean, an entire gym, like it was like Gold's Gym or whatever, something like that. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But if I'd have thought about it now, I'd be like, sure, I can do it. I'll just go rent a 26-foot truck, because I'll put that into the cost with the lift gate, so you don't have to worry about going up and down a ramp. In those cases, you always want a lift gate on that. and complete the job. And it's just it's a matter of saying yes, finding where I've had to do that. You rent big trucks, and in the meantime, you're doing your small jobs. But instead of having to pay for that overhead of having a large 30-foot, 26, 30-foot truck, first of all, I have nowhere to park something like that. Then you have to pay. You have to go to a storage unit to pay for a big truck like that, and the maintenance on that is way more than my truck. The maintenance on a 26-foot truck, you got bigger tires, you got dualies, you got bigger engines, and it's just going to be more costs maintenance wise. Where my truck is just like a little bit bigger than a van. The tires are just cost the same as a regular car or van. It's got a small block Chevy, basic type of thing. It's not a diesel, so it's not as expensive to maintain. So I'm going to stick with that, and then if I need a bigger job, you just go down to the rental yard. I mean, I used to have a decent place I'd go rent big trucks with the lift gates, but in the new area I'm living now, I don't have that. So I'm gonna have to find, because I don't really particularly want to rent U-Hauls. Penske, I had a pretty decent experience. I did a commercial contract with them before when I was doing deliveries for a couch company, a leather couch company, and it seemed to work out pretty good. So I might look into Penske, but I always like the independent places, like the family-owned rentals. I haven't seen one around here because they usually charge less per mile. Like the last place I was renting, I think they were charging 35 cents per mile, and if you rented the truck for an extended period of time, they would drop that down. Whereas U-Haul, I don't know what it is, but I think it's way more than that. I don't know if it's $1 a mile or what. So I have to look for something like that if I come across a bigger job, and then also I can rent a junk trailer. There's a guy in town that'll rent trailers, like dump trailers. So if I did come across a big job, like not these ones that are like 300, but to say, can you clean that whole house out, and I have to hire somebody, then I might be able to rent a trailer. Or if I see if it's so big, I would just rent the 26-foot truck so that you can do it all. You want to do it efficiently, and with a bigger truck like that, it's going to be much faster than going 10 times with that truck I have. But I do enjoy those jobs where you just fill the one truck up and you're gone. You get your 300. So I mean, I haven't had a lot of them, but I'm getting them, and I'm seeing how that works. So it's just a start. So that's all I was talking about. I just want to say about how, just mentioning how reasonable it is for me over here for a truckload to pay for. It's not that much. Now, another thing I want to look into is I've been getting a lot of appliances. People are removing appliances. I'm trying to find a recycler. I don't know how to do that. I don't know. I know you can take it to the metal yard and all that, but the dump that I live near, hold on, the dump that I live near is it's so close and so convenient that I really don't want to drive farther out for where the metal yards are, and in those areas, I'd rather just come right here and get rid of it because it's not that expensive. I mean, they don't charge extra. It's just a weight. But if I could find because I did have a guy before in my other town I lived in, that he would anytime I get appliances, he said call him up because he would repair the appliances and then sell them. So anytime I got any kind of stove, refrigerator, dishwasher, whatever it was, I would just call him. He would come over with his truck, and he'd take it away for free. I wouldn't have to drive it, and I don't know of anyone like that here. So I'm trying to find someone like that who likes to recycle those and turn around and sell them, because then they're put to use. Because some of the ones I had dumped seemed like they might be decent, and they probably could fix them. And but I don't have the room, the space. I don't have the storage unit like I used to have. I used to have a storage that was God, if you could fit a 50-foot bus in that storage, but I don't have that storage anymore. I don't even have a storage shed. I have to store things in my back, behind where I live, and then kind of move it in the truck, take it. I'm looking at getting a storage shed installed, something where I could put like mattresses and things if I need to shift things and take things over and or like combine the loads to have room, or I might get another storage unit because I have a storage unit right across the street here. I'm seeing storage units like giving these deals like 50% off for the first month. I'm starting to see them giving deals. I'm not sure why, but I assume it's because they're not getting the customer base that they used to have. Because when I first moved out here, they had storage units were hard to find. You couldn't. There were just so many people moving here. But now it's things are kind of leveling off. I think now storage units are trying to bring more customers. So I might look into that if they're giving 50% off. It's worth it, or they're lowering the price because it is very close. It's like I could just hop in the truck and go right there within a few minutes and in and out, drop some stuff off so that I can go do another job and then sort it out later or whatever. So those are things I'm thinking about because summer's still here and things are, like I said, I did quite a few jobs, got one tomorrow. It's a small job, but I like those little jobs. And I haven't put up any ads in a while, so I did get another call today, but that's for a job next month. And so I think I'll probably secure something on the weekend. Once I pop in another ad, usually people call. It's the busy time. So, and it does continue to get busier through August. So that's my long-winded rant, or not rant, just talking about stuff. And hope everyone's getting lots of work, and this is a really good weekend, and make a bunch of money. Because I do need to make more money because I've got to pay off the bills and got kind of behind. So need to catch up. All right, this is Good Attitude Services 10-foot truck signing out.